Imagine holding a handful of water. The tighter you squeeze, the more it escapes between your fingers. That's how desire works. When you want something so badly that you grip it with fear and control, you unknowingly push it away. Life, like water, flows toward open hands, not clenched fists. We live in a world that teaches us to chase, to strive, to fight for what we want. Go after your dreams, they say. But what if true creation happens in the opposite way? What if the secret to manifestation, love, and transformation lies not in pursuit, but in surrender? Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means releasing resistance. It is allowing energy to move freely instead of imprisoning it in the tension of, I must have this. The paradox is profound. The moment you stop needing something to complete you, you become magnetic to it. Think of desire as a flame. When fed with calm oxygen, patience, trust, openness, it burns bright and clear. But when smothered by obsession or fear, it flickers and dies. The art of letting go is the art of tending this flame with grace. Every great spiritual and psychological path points to this truth in its own language. You cannot cling your way to peace. You cannot grasp your way to freedom. Whether it's a person, a goal, or a dream, clinging is the voice of fear saying, without this, I am not whole. But the soul knows otherwise. Let's look at an example. You fall deeply in love. The connection feels electric, but soon fear enters. What if they leave? What if I lose this? You begin to control, to analyze every word, every silence. The energy changes. What was once light and flowing becomes tense, heavy, demanding. You're not loving anymore. You're holding on. And that holding is what suffocates love. Now imagine the opposite. You trust the flow. You love without trying to possess. You open yourself fully, not to outcomes, but to experience. Suddenly, energy returns. Connection deepens. The relationship breathes again. That's the power of letting go. It invites life to breathe with you. The same principle applies to every desire. A dream job, creative success, healing from the past. When your energy vibrates with desperation, you repel what you want. When it vibrates with trust, you attract it naturally. The universe mirrors your state. So ask yourself, what are you holding too tightly? Where are you trying to force a door that isn't ready to open? The paradox is this: when you stop demanding, you start receiving. When you stop controlling, life begins to collaborate. Letting go is not weakness, it's alignment with the deeper intelligence of existence. The first step is awareness. Notice where your mind contracts around desire. That tension is a clue. Behind every I must hides a hidden fear. Fear of lack, fear of being unworthy, fear of missing your moment. Recognizing this is the beginning of liberation. Because when you truly know your worth, you stop chasing. You understand that what resonates with your energy will find its way to you, and what doesn't is making space for something better. So, breathe. Open your hands. Trust the current. If you're resonating with this reflection, remember, your energy shapes your reality. Letting go is not losing. It's choosing to align. If this message is helping you see things differently, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Each week we explore how deep psychology and spirituality meet, helping you transform your inner world so life can transform with you. Let go and watch what flows back. Letting go begins in the mind, but it blossoms in the heart. It's not an intellectual exercise. It's a deep shift of consciousness. To truly release, you must first recognize the invisible threads that bind you to what you desire. Those threads are woven from expectation, fear, and the illusion that you can command the tides of life. We mistake control for safety. We strategize, push, and plan, thinking that constant effort will protect us from disappointment. Yet control is like building a sandcastle against the waves. The tighter we cling to stability, the more life reshapes itself, reminding us that flow, not rigidity, is the true nature of existence. Letting go is not about abandoning your dreams. It's about releasing the weight that suffocates them. When you stop gripping outcomes, you make space for movement, for energy to circulate freely again. Think of your life as a garden. When you plant a seed, you don't stand over it, demanding it to sprout faster. You water it, you nurture it, and then you step back. You let the mystery of time and nature do their work. The same is true for desire. You can set an intention with care, but you must give it air, sunlight, and trust. In daily life, this principle reveals itself in quiet ways. You work relentlessly for a goal, perhaps success, healing, or love, and yet the harder you push, the further it seems to drift. That resistance is often born from attachment, not lack of effort. When you hold something too tightly, you block the natural rhythm of becoming. But once you release control, your awareness widens. You start seeing paths you hadn't noticed before. Creativity, intuition, and synchronicity begin to flow again. What once felt like effort becomes effortless. You shift from, "I must make this happen," to, "I am ready to receive what aligns." Letting go isn't detachment from life, it's participation in a higher dance. You can love fully, work passionately, and still remain free. Freedom doesn't come from indifference, it comes from balance. Imagine standing at the edge of a river. You can fight the current, exhausting yourself, or you can learn to float, trusting that the water knows where it's going. The current becomes your ally, not your enemy. That's the energy of surrender. Not weakness, but wisdom. When you release your need to control, your actions grow stronger. You stop moving from fear and start moving from truth. The universe, or whatever intelligence guides this vast tapestry of life, responds to that clarity. It mirrors your inner state. Here's a simple, real example. Suppose you're waiting for an opportunity. A call, a breakthrough, a sign. You've done your part, yet the silence stretches on. Anxiety starts to build, but when you consciously decide to release the tension, not because you don't care, but because you trust, something softens. The world feels lighter. You reconnect with the present, and that present, paradoxically, holds everything you were chasing. You become open, magnetic. People sense your peace. Situations start to move naturally toward you. This isn't coincidence, it's coherence. You've stopped swimming against the current. That's why spiritual and psychological wisdom both call surrender an act of power. You're no longer a puppet of your fears. You become the witness and the co-creator. You guide desire instead of being driven by it. You turn grasping into gratitude. Picture a butterfly in your hands. If you hold it too tightly, you crush it. If you open your palms, it rests there lightly, free, yet near. That's the balance we seek. This balance isn't static, it's rhythmic. You hold when life asks you to commit, and you release when it asks you to trust. Like breathing. Inhale and exhale. Effort and surrender. Creation and rest. So, how do you start practicing this? Notice tension. In your chest, your jaw, your thoughts. Every what if, or it must happen now, is a signal of attachment. Don't scold yourself for it. Simply observe it. Awareness alone begins the process of loosening the knot. Then consciously shift your focus. Instead of, when will it come? Ask, what am I learning now? This question pulls you back into flow. It replaces anxiety with curiosity, control with openness. Letting go is an inner posture. It's saying to life, I trust you. I'm ready to meet what's meant for me. And that readiness is magnetic. You stop broadcasting fear and start radiating presence. The world senses the difference. When you master this art, peace no longer depends on circumstances. It lives within you, steady, quiet, unwavering. That's the gift of surrender. It gives you back your energy. Letting go is how the soul remembers its own rhythm. It's not a fall into emptiness. It's a return to flow. Letting go is not a single act. It's a practice, a rhythm that becomes part of how you live. Once you've loosened your grip on control, a new kind of clarity appears. You begin to see that what you were chasing was never an object, a person, or a result. It was a feeling. A sense of peace, connection, fulfillment. And that feeling has always been available, waiting beneath the noise of effort and fear. This realization marks a turning point. You start living from the inside out. Instead of trying to make life conform to your will, you align your energy with the natural intelligence of existence. You move from force to flow, from tension to trust. It's like learning to walk barefoot on the earth after years of running in armor. Every step feels more real, more grounded. You sense the pulse of life under your feet, the same pulse that beats within you. This is not surrender as defeat. This is surrender as awakening. When you stop clinging, you discover how powerful you actually are. Not because you can control outcomes, but because you can harmonize with them. You begin to act from intuition rather than anxiety. You speak from authenticity instead of fear. Your presence alone becomes magnetic. Letting go is the bridge between who you were and who you're becoming. The person who clings is guided by fear. Fear of losing. Fear of being not enough. The person who trusts is guided by wisdom. A quiet knowing that everything unfolds with purpose, even the detours and delays. Let's ground this into daily practice. When you notice yourself tightening, in thought, emotion, or body, pause. Take one conscious breath and imagine opening a window inside your chest. Let light in. You don't have to fix the situation immediately. You just need to stop fighting the moment. Acceptance is not passivity. It's alignment with what is. From that alignment, inspired action can arise naturally. The second practice is gratitude. Gratitude instantly shifts your frequency. When you thank life not just for what you have, but for what's still forming, you declare your trust in its timing. You move from scarcity to abundance, not because your circumstances changed, but because you did. A third practice, release with intention. Write down what you're ready to let go of, an outcome, a person, an old belief. Then burn or bury the paper as a symbolic act. It's not superstition, it's a ritual of energy. It tells your subconscious, I'm ready to make space. And the subconscious listens. Remember, letting go is not about indifference, it's about presence. When you release attachment, you return to the now, the only place where transformation is possible. You may still desire, dream, and plan, but your energy feels different. Desire becomes creative instead of desperate. Effort becomes playful instead of pressured. You're no longer fighting the current. You're part of its song. This way of living changes everything. Relationships become lighter because you stop trying to control how others see you or how things unfold. Work becomes more inspired because you're not creating from fear of failure, but from love of expression. Even challenges transform. Instead of resistance, you meet them as teachers, mirrors showing where your energy still clings. There's a quiet miracle that happens here. What you once chased begins to come toward you. Opportunities, connections, clarity. They arise naturally. It's not magic, it's resonance. When your vibration matches peace, peace finds you. When you embody freedom, life mirrors that freedom. The final stage of letting go is understanding that you were never separate from the flow you feared. Life is not happening to you, it's happening through you. You are both the river and the traveler. Every experience, joy or loss, arrival or ending, is part of your unfolding. To live this way is to trust the invisible architecture of existence. To know that every closing door, every silence, every delay has its own wisdom. Sometimes not getting what you wanted is the greatest protection life could give you. So when you feel the impulse to grasp, to control, to force, pause. Breathe. Remember that the universe has a rhythm, and you are part of that rhythm. You don't need to chase what already belongs to your path. Letting go is a sacred act of faith in your own alignment. It's saying, I am ready to receive not what my fear demands, but what my soul is ready for. And from that space, something extraordinary unfolds. Calm, purpose, creativity, love. Life starts flowing with you instead of around you. So as we close this reflection, remember, your power lies not in holding tighter, but in opening wider. Letting go is not the end of desire. It's the transformation of it. Release the need to control. Trust your own energy. And watch how life begins to move in harmony with you. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to share it with someone who might need this reminder. Leave a comment with what you're ready to release. And don't forget to subscribe for more reflections on energy, transformation, and the deep psychology of the soul. Because when you let go, you don't lose. You finally make room to receive.